But first of all, we're going to speak to Tyber Cranstoun of the Jewelers. How's it going?
I'm all right. How are you?
Yeah, very good. So it's been a very busy year for the Jewelers, hasn't it?
It has been. I think it's been the year. It's just kind of come out of nowhere. But we're very humble, feet on the ground, and things have just really, really taken off. And we're just, trying to keep up with it all, trying to keep up with the love and the whole thing has just been it's fantastic. It's very tiring because we're out sort of 4 or 5 times a week at the minute. When it used to be like a couple of times a week at most, but now it's just sort of doubled. It's fantastic. Can't moan at all. I do though.
You do, yeah. Well, I suppose because you need a break as well, didn't you, at some point?
Yeah. Next year, I keep saying to people, I'm going into semi-retirement in a sense. We're kind of focusing on bigger venues and lesser gigs, so which kind of makes sense. We've kind of gone to literally all over the UK this year and very humbly booked ourselves into fairly small venues, and they've kind of sold out within a couple of days. And we've realised that we've kind of turned into an international band as opposed to a local band, and an international and national band into local band. And we've kind of stepped it up next year, so we're playing big, well-known venues all over the UK. So
yeah, I think you're definitely at that stage now, aren't you?
Yeah, it just seems like everyone seems to know we are, or they know someone who knows who we are. Like we're the most famous non-famous band because we're not being played on the national radio at the moment very much, but then we haven't released anything to warrant that. And we're not in TV and magazines, but we've got a lot of things in the pipeline to hopefully sort of push it into that area next year, because we're working on a new album at the minute. We haven't done anything new really as far as writing goes for the last sort of 3 or 4 years. So that's all to go out to coincide with the big UK tour for next year. So, but we're all over the place, and it's a real. The great thing for me is that there's so much of the UK I've never even seen it before. I probably know parts of Spain better than I know the UK. Just going for holiday when I was younger, but. It's really lovely. Next year, as I said, the venues are really established, well-known venues. When you look at some of the artists that have played there in some of these other venues all over the UK, you kind of go, wow. It's a real, it's kind of almost, you have to sort of stop and have a breather every now and then to look around and go, things are going well, aren't they? But
yeah,
they're busy.
They're going very well, and I've noticed it as well on my show. I mean, a few years ago we spoke, and this was when you released Back to Paradise. Great album.
Right, yeah.
We're going to be hearing a song from that after the interview.
Cool.
But at the time, yeah, I mean, I'd play a Jewelers song, and people would be like, "What's this? I love this. This is great."
Oh,
but now, when you play a song, actually, people are getting in touch and they're saying, "Oh, can you play a song by the Jewelers?"
Yeah.
So it's definitely you've definitely caught on.
We were on Robert Elm's on LBC a couple of weeks ago, and I didn't get around to listen to the whole show because the moment we went off, we had to run off to a festival in Maidstone, and he was saying at the end, he's saying, "Oh, Jewelers, Jewelers, Jewelers." So people try and make out they don't know who they are, but everyone knows who they are now, so they don't need any advertising. And so it's such a nice thing for him to come out with. It's like, don't we? It's like, does everyone know? It's like, actually, there's always, if they don't know, they know someone who knows who we are. I think there's a lot of that is down to the uniqueness of the sound and the music, because it's, there's not a lot of that sort of style going around at the minute, and it's kind of quite refreshing when we're in a day and age of internet, and you can just go on Spotify and listen to pretty much anything at a tap of a button now, whereas once upon a time you were kind of, you had to listen to what was being played. Now you've got access to so many different types, and people are venturing off course from what they would normally play and finding new genres, new styles, and I think that's immensely helped us out.
Yeah, and I would also say YouTube. I mean, a lot of people have seen you originally on the street performing, and it's really helped you out in that way.
Yeah, the mad thing is that I was standing on ice. There's no two ways about it. I was there making a living. I had a mortgage to pay, a mouth to feed, and I've got dogs. I've got so I had to go about there and be responsible and think, well, I need to go and earn a living. And little did I know, I saw people with video cameras and camera phones and what have you, and it was just like, okay, I just kind of ignored it, but I didn't realise that 5, 6, 7, 8 years later they would become like gems, and obviously they were just passed around, shared all over Facebook and YouTube, and that's how we've got a lot of our fans through that. So it's certainly been the busking has certainly been worth its while.
One of your mad fans, Connie, I'm sure she won't mind me saying this, but she'd like to say hello to you, Tyber.
Hello, Connie. There's a couple of Connies that it might be, but I think I might know who it might be. But I dared say that the surname just going to get it completely wrong, and I've got the wrong Connie. But hello, Connie. How are you doing? I hope you're well. And I'm sure I'll see you at one of the gigs down the front if it is the right Connie.
She goes to every gig, so it probably is. Yeah.
I think her surname might be Buckmaster, but if it's the wrong one, I'm probably going to get a Facebook message going, no, it wasn't Buckmaster, actually, it was the other Connie. So, but yeah, we've got some fantastic fans that just sort of, it's another one of those things we just pinch them and go, do people really like us that much? It's like we still feel we're a bunch of guys that just come and doing our thing. But I suppose a lot of bands feel that way. But I think because we haven't had the bright lights of TV and all of that comes with it, and newspapers, and we've had a little bit of it, but it kind of keeps us completely grounded. So when we do see people, we don't feel we're any different from anybody else. It's like but it's nice to be honoured as much as people honour us. But it's still quite hard to get your head round if you're a humble group that we are. We're just who we are, and that's it, and we just enjoy what we do, and the crowds turn up. So
yeah, and I think that's the big thing with the Jewelers. It's all about the live performances, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's energy in a room. It's just like, it's almost like lightning in a bottle, that sort of thing. It's like we don't really know what's going to happen on that stage ourselves. We don't really know what energy we're going to plug into from the crowd, and they plug into us. Sometimes it's just through the roof for us. It's like that. What just happened? That was amazing. And other times it's really good, and but it's never, ever, ever a bad experience. It's always, great energy in the room. And I think as well, it's like people come to sort of lose themselves at our gigs a little bit. You've got problems going on in your life, and who hasn't? Everyone's got some issues that have been going on, and you come to one of our shows, and it's like you're standing next to somebody who's old enough to be your granny, then you're standing next to, there's all different races, colours, creeds, all sorts. It's a small version of the world, and it's upbeat, uplifting music, and it ceases to amaze me the sorts of people that come to our gigs. It's very difficult to pinpoint a type because there's just so many people that music sort of appeals to, and there's so many people that go, I don't think I'm a fan of ska and reggae, but I love the Jewelers. So we've kind of created our own unique thing that's inadvertently as well. We haven't sat down and said, let's try and win people over by creating our own sound. We've just done it, and it's just grown and grown and grown through a lot through word of mouth, and obviously going on the tour of the UK like we have done this year. It's now like all the dots and the light bulbs have gone on around the UK, and we can now stand up and go and play some big venues, and that's what's kind of happened.
So one of your big venues, you do this every year. Are you doing this year at the O2 in London?
We do the O2. It's already sold out. It's Indigo at the O2, which is, has loads and loads of big bands play there, and we've played it. I think it's about our 11th year. We've not sold it out as quick as we have done this year, as we have done. It's one of those sort of things where, we always do sell it out, probably a month or two beforehand, but I think it just goes to show the measure of the support and love that we've got now. We sold it out in July, so you're sort of 6 months away from it, and that's sort of 2,800 people. So it's that's. We're still kind of figuring out, surely there's some more tickets left. But, there hasn't. But we're, while I'm talking about that as well, we're at the King's Hall in Herne Bay, actually, next year. We're kicking off our tour after the O2. Because everything's sold out for this year, we've now got to that stage where it's like, well, people are asking, where are we next? So we may as well put the tickets on for the tour for next year. So to release that, we've got a load of gigs now that are going on sale. So the only problem is that people used to be able to see us in about 20 gigs in and around this sort of Kent area, and now next year there's only really 4, and that's it, because we're obviously travelling over to Ireland, and we're going to Dublin, Belfast, Scotland, Edinburgh, Cardiff. So yeah, I think it is the 2nd of February at the King's Hall in Herne Bay next year. That's not too far from you, is it?
No, not too far, I don't believe. No. What can you tell us about your new album? Because Back to Paradise was your previous studio album. When's the new album going to be out?
It's going to come out, it'll be released around about the end of March next year. So which is around just coinciding with the new tour. We'd have done a date or two beforehand, but it'll be coming out the beginning of March, or end of March. Yeah, it's very much Back to Paradise sort of set the bar. So I'm always one to try and be improving on what we're doing. So, yeah, it's going to be very much in the same vein, but hopefully, I don't want to say better, but we're still learning as we go. You know, we're developing our sound. We've got, you know, I want this next album to be for people to turn around and go, I love Back to Paradise, but that album, which is called Palm Trees and 80 Degrees, I want that album to be the one that people really do love, and we're going to release some tracks off it as well. So just to get us to that next level, so that it isn't just through social media and word of mouth. We want to try and get into the mainstream a little bit more, and because it just feels like the time is right. We're riding the crest of the wave now, and it would be wrong to not even attempt to do that. So, but yeah, it's very much the same sort of thing. Very much authentic ska and reggae with, you know, lovely hook lines and catchy melodies and lyrics that people can relate to and people can sing along to. And we'll be obviously for next year, the tour, we're going to be playing, I don't know, about 4 or 5 of the tracks from it. So it's, yeah, it's exciting. It's exciting.
Yeah, very exciting. So have you recorded any of this yet? Or?
We haven't. We're booked in to play, funnily enough. I don't know. I mean, my mum and dad live in East Farley, but we're recording at a studio over in Maidstone. So I'm probably not too far from you guys. My geography.
No, by the seaside. Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll be recording that at the end of January, and then after that, it's all post-production stuff, mixing, mastering, and editing, and all of that for the next sort of 2 months to bring it up to the level that we want. So, but yeah, we've kind of narrowing the songs down. I tend to do like a process of getting all the ideas together from like 100 down to 50, down to 30, down to about 13 tracks, 14 tracks is what it's going to be on the album. So it's kind of like picking the best of the bunch out and making sure it's varied.
Yeah, I mean, it must be hard to stop as well, probably.
Yeah, no, it is. But my brain is almost creatively drained now because I've probably been doing this for about 2 years. Sort of creatively coming up with the ideas and the melodies, and I'm kind of at a stage now where I'm like, I can feel it. I'm like, no, I've got them. This is it. We have to make this sound good.
Yeah, you have to make it eventually.
Come up with anything else. Sorry?
You have to make the album eventually, yeah.
Yeah, but absolutely. I mean, the thing is as well is that, I mean, you know, I've met some really lovely people along the way and famous people. They've all said to me that you're never ever happy. You know, you do the album and no one's ever happy. There's always stuff on there you should have done, could have done. That doesn't sound right. You know, you just have to sometimes go, that's it. Because what people do really is almost like you're capturing a time. That's where we're at now. I'm sure we can look back a year or two down the line and go, we should have done that. But that is what it is. You're capturing a moment in time with a group of people, and this is where we're at. So when I sort of told myself that, it kind of makes it a little bit more acceptable to kind of go, no, that's right. Because you're always going to try and move the goalpost. Oh, no, what if we had this? And I'm not ready for that. And you know, there's so many things in life that can happen as well. You know, people have babies, moving. You just have to stick to your guns and go. And that's what record companies do, regardless. You know, you sign a contract and you've got, in that 2 years, you've got to give them 3 albums or something. Regardless, you have to do that. So I think by us giving ourselves an actual schedule of like recording in January, releasing in March,
it's a good idea, yeah.
You have to. I think you have to. It's one of those things that we creative artists, we're constantly, you know, we can, you know, there's certain members of the band, they don't even know what Dad Week is. So it's like, you know, that's genuine as well. So we do have to really be focused on that. You've got to have a bit of a business head, which is quite difficult for arty people, I think.
Great. Well, it's been fantastic to speak to you, Tyber, and we're really looking forward to the new album. And when's this going to be out again, roughly? It'll be
out in, I say it's the end of March. And then just to give people a shout out, if you can, if I'm allowed to, the 2nd of February at the King's Hall in Herne Bay and the 10th of May at Moat Park in Maidstone, and Civic Centre in Bromley on the 20th and 21st of September. So, but yeah, we're just, thank you very much indeed for listening to me babble on your show.
That's all right, no problem. Thanks for joining us.
Nice one.